Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're featuring a Bell & Ross. It's a brand really I've only featured a couple of times on the channel, so it's nice to have another one back in. This is their Gyrocompass. It's a limited edition piece. There's only 999 of these models available, and it's part of the BR03 range of watches. And let's face it, it's got that iconic square case design you see, on the Bell & Rosses, and let's face it, it's kind of a bit of a Marmite watch. I wasn't sure a few years back, but this range for BR03 is a little bit smaller, and it's actually surprisingly comfortable on the wrist. It's it wears a lot better than it looks, if that makes sense. It really is quite a decent watch. And when you look at that dial, it is just mad, isn't it? It's really something a little bit different. But before I get too far into a review, I've got to say a massive thank you to Ryan and the team over at Francis & Gay of Coventry for allowing me to review this watch. Loads of stock, always something interesting and different, well worth popping in if you're in the area. So, what do we have here? I say sizes are 41 millimeters, so 41 for that square case. The thickness of the watch is only 10.8 millimeters, so it's actually very, very slim. The lug-to-lug width, length across here to here is 15 millimeters, and the strap size, well, it's a little bit strange because you have 24 in the center here, and obviously it's wider at the sides, but it does taper down considerably. So anyway, the dial, let's face it, it's the dial on this one, isn't it? It really is something just a little bit different. So the reason for the plane is partly where the name comes from. It's the Gyrocompass. So if you imagine when you see all the, especially the older planes, when you see them in the movies, this is the actual compass, and you have the plane heading in that direction. Unfortunately, this doesn't rotate, because if it did, that would be absolutely superb. But it's got a few tricks up its sleeve. So, the north, south, east and west on there is really just for decoration, because that's, I say, the compass element of it, but it's non-functional. But what the actual hands are here is you've got your, best to show you really, if I turn this, that is your minute hand. So you see coming round here, that's your minute hand, and this is your hour hand. So the tip of the plane's nose there, is the actual hours. That's the minutes, and here are the seconds. So let's set that back to 10 to 10 and push that in, and you've got your seconds here. But strangely, they've also got the second hand going across here. Not quite sure why they've done that, but it's easy to determine which side of the second hand you want to use as your reference. It makes more sense to go with this, obviously, with the white tip. I like the simple Bell & Ross logo up there. It's because of its symmetry, it just works so well. And also you have the date window down here. I quite like this kind of I quite like the round, actually, because it matches all on here. They could have either have done it square even, and it still would have looked good, I think. But one good thing with all this logo here, the plane and the hands as well, it's full of lume. It really does look like a kind of cool watch in, with regards to its lume, for definite. When you zoom in close, you can actually see the disc which supports the plane's the plane hand on there. So you got 4 points of contact there actually supporting it. Now you have this outer bezel here. So it's quite strange how they've done this, because this is floating and you've got a space underneath there, which is a little bit strange. I've not seen anything like that before. But what's kind of cool about it is the second hand goes all the way out to that track. It's actually, I reckon it does, I think it actually goes under. So you can read it right up to the track, which is really quite a different and unusual feature. Now, the bezel, the minute counter on here, this is a watch, I think, which is screaming out to have a rotating in a bezel. But, this, after all, is more of a pilot's watch. So I suppose that isn't really that necessary. Now, as we come past that, we have a flat sapphire crystal with AR coating. It seems to do a relatively decent job of stopping reflections there. Now, the case, I'm not kidding, this has got quite a bit of heft to it. And one of the reasons why, this is a ceramic case. So I like the fact that it's kind of a matte finish. It kind of looks a little bit more stealthy, should I say? And you obviously have the screws set into there. It's I can honestly say, considering it's not a particularly large watch, it does feel like it's got quite a bit of heft to it. Now, as we come round here, we have a Ballon signed crown. Now, it's not a screw down crown, but you still have 100 meters of water resistance to it. So it goes straight to hand wind as it is, and it is silky and smooth. And as you've seen, you've got the date and hack function on there. Now, as we turn it around to the back there, it is the limited edition, so we've got all the numbers up here, and this is all kind of nicely laid out. Now, behind there is what Ballon call their BR caliber 302. Now, really, that is a Sellita. It's a Sellita SW300 with basically, I think it's 38 joules. That sounds a little bit high. I'll have to double check that. But the power reserve is 54 hours. Now, I like that because lots of companies say it's got 56 hours of power reserve, but Ballon have kept it sensible and said 54 hours of power reserve. So that's quite cool. They've done that. Now, I put this on the time grapher, and to be fair, it was running absolutely fantastic. I think it was running 0 seconds and 0 beat rate. That is absolutely phenomenal. I can't fault that at all. Now, as we come past that, we have this rubber strap, and I'm not kidding, it feels really, really good. Feels very, very solid. There's a tiny, tiny bit of stretch to it. Obviously, it's all signed up here. You've got the logos going on there and across here. So I think the strap actually feels superb. I have seen people put custom leather straps on these, and they also look good. At the top here, you have a signed buckle. I don't know if that's ceramic or not. It does feel it, so it could be. So hats off if it is. Let's put it on my wrist and get an idea how it looks. Quick wrist check. I'm wearing my Corum limited edition jumping hours. It's actually number 1, that is, of 300. And Bob has got a Grand Seiko in. I can't believe it. They've let me review another Grand Seiko. That is unusual. So anyway, let's put this on my wrist and see. We get an idea how it looks. My wrist size is 7¼ inches. So it gives you an idea. And there you go. It's actually very, very comfortable on the wrist, partly because it is very slim, but also that 41mm, it doesn't feel big on the wrist at all. It really does kind of it feels quite compact. You can definitely feel the weight though, but it does feel quite compact on the wrist. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave you to it with that. Any questions, leave them in the comments below. As you know, I'll always try and get back to you, but most importantly, stay safe out there. Take care.